Hi everyone, today I want to show you the Corbado Connect Gradual Rollout feature. It's a great feature that many large organizations with many users actually need. And when you have implemented your passkey solution and are about to roll it out to your customers, large organizations, usually they want to start with an internal pilot so that only employees, developers, testers are granted access, even though it's a live application. And then once this internal pilot has been done successfully, they want to move into the customer side and allow certain customers to use passkeys. However, they also want to start small and then gradually increase the sample size of customers who can use passkeys. Usually, we always try to gate the creation of passkeys so that only a small subset of users can create a passkey. All can use it for login, but if you gate the creation, it's a great way to also control the general rollout of your passkey deployment. With Corbado, you have different ways how you can specify these samples. In general, you can choose certain applications, let's say only a web app or only an iOS or Android app or all of them. You can define regions, specific user subsets that you have in place. On web, you can use IP addresses or operating system versions and browser versions. And also you can use a native app certain devices and device models, let's say an iPhone 17. And this is quite helpful because if you look into certain Android operating systems and manufacturers, for instance, from China, there might be some odd versions which you really want to test in depth, where you get the beta version of it and then you can test it there or exclude it until the beta is really in general availability. Moreover, on the native side, you can also specify certain manufacturers, let's say Apple or only Samsung devices, to be included in a gradual rollout. On top of it, you can specify certain identifiers which are always over these rules. So if you're someone who should be granted access, then you can whitelist this person by providing the username and email address. And the great benefit in general of the gradual rollout feature is that you avoid the big bang rollout and you really reduce the risk of your implementation, which might have some issues or edge cases you haven't considered when you start to roll out. So you can fix issues early on without overwhelming users and rolling out to the masses. Also, it's very data-driven, so you don't need to trust your gut feel. You really see what's working and what's not working. And we also offer a feature with this gradual rollout where you can simulate what kind of the effect of your gradual rollout would be on your traffic. So let's have a look at the Corbado Connect management console. You see the gradual rollout feature on the left-hand side, and here's basically the settings that you have. There are three different ways how you can define the gradual rollout. You can define it for the login component, for the append or creation component of passkeys, and the manage and list component. Each of them have their own rules that you can define. And then there are the different gradual rollout rules that you have. And then on the bottom, you have the identifiers where you can define certain users by providing a name and the identifiers. Let's, for example, take the email addresses, and these would be excluded from the rule sets on top of it. If you click on one of these rule sets, let's take this one, you would see more metadata on the top. You see if it's active or not and some versioning. And then the core part of it, it's the rule set content. In here, we have three rules. The first one basically blacklists Firefox as a browser from the rollout. It introduces an invitation token so that only users who have an invitation token appended to the URL here on top can create a passkey, and for everyone else, this will be denied. So these users who don't fall into the category of the invitation token, they cannot make use of passkeys. You can activate or deactivate this rule. And also, as I said, you can simulate the impact. Here we take the past 7 days of your traffic data into consideration, and then we calculate, okay, which kind of rule would be applied to your traffic in the past 7 days. In this example, we didn't have much traffic, and only the rule with the default deny would be in place or would be active. And in this case, there would be 12 logins, which would have been denied due to this rule. So you really get a good understanding before you apply this rule, what kind of impact you have, and then you can also use that to really get down the risk or make sure that it's a controlled rollout without overwhelming customers or support, and making sure you can fix issues early on and have a successful launch.